Ernest Langdon with Langdon Tactical doing the Beretta Win the Fight training series. Next, we're going to talk about emergency reloads. When we start talking about emergency reloads, there's a lot of little details that'll make a big difference in how quickly and efficiently you can reload the gun. Normally, I like to do this by the steps so that I can break down each part of the process. We're going to start aimed in with our slide lock to the rear here with an empty gun. So when we're up on target and shooting, the first thing we're going to do is both of our hands are going to move at the same time. Our trigger finger is going to go straight and our thumb is going to get on the magazine release button. At the same time, I'm going to locate that magazine in my magazine pouch. All of that happens at step one. On step two, I'm going to press the magazine release button and pull the magazine out at the same time. Both magazines move together. How I grab the magazine is important. I want the index finger across the front side of the magazine as if I was going to point it into the bottom of the gun, because that's exactly what I'm going to do. I want to index the gun back against my body, letting my tricep land against my rib cage, and I'm going to point the opening of the magazine well in the direction where the magazine is coming from. What this does is allows everything to line up very easily. Step three, I'm going to look at this inside edge and partially insert the magazine just a little bit. Once I've done that, I look back down range or in the direction of the threat. And then finally on step four, I'm going to seat the magazine, release the slide, and come back up and fire that next shot. So now that we've broken down the steps, let's put it all together and get a couple of reps in doing it correctly. Starting up on the target. One more time. So after we've seated that magazine, let's take a step back. There's multiple different ways to release the slide, and each one has advantages and disadvantages. The method that I typically use, I use my strong thumb to release the slide and let the next round chamber. The disadvantage of that one is if I release it too soon, I don't get a round chambered. The other option for you is to seat the magazine and come up with the support thumb and release it. That eliminates that possibility of sending the slide forward without a round in the chamber, but it's also just a little bit slower. Also, we can manually operate the slide. Come over the top and grip it, or we can slingshot it and then release that slide manually from that locked rear position. All of those are good options. For my left-handed shooters that would like to use the slide release, what I recommend you do is come up and insert that magazine and bring all those fingers down on your slide stop, and then come right back up to fire the next shot. Some of you guys may have heard that the correct tactical way to release the slide after a reload is always the power stroke, to come over and manually operate the slide. And the reason that is argued is that it's a gross motor skill versus hitting the small button that is the slide stop. Now, the problem with that is, from a logical standpoint, is if we look at all the things I've already done, I've pressed this trigger 15 to 20 times, I've pushed this button now to release a magazine, I've put a square peg into a square hole, but I'm way too stressed out to hit the next button. So remember, those little details of the reload are going to make a big difference in efficiency and speed. If you need to reload that gun in an emergency situation, being able to do it quickly and under duress is very important. So go out there, train hard, stay safe, and win the fight.